Hi, it's Leonie West from Westerly Design. I'm going to show you what we can do with our circles on quilt tools and our spinning wave tools. Making a Baptist fan with the circles on quilts, I can change the size of my Baptist fan spacings. So using the two tools, I have measurements in 1 inch, ½ inch, and this tool has the 1/8 of an inch measurements. So I can make Baptist fan with 1/4 inch spacing, ½ inch spacing. I can alter the spacing with 1/4 inch and a ½ inch, an 1/8 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch spacings, and here I have 1 inch, ½ inch, 1 inch, ½ inch. So I can change my spacings on my Baptist fans. I have made my Baptist fan where I've just put the fans to the outside, and I've used spinning wave number 1 to make the waves coming out. So it will spin on the same locating disc as the circles on quilts tools. In the next one, I have 1/4 inch spacings on the inside and the outside, and I have spaced spinning wave number 1 at a closer spacing than I did in the first. On this fan, I've put my Baptist fan lines in, and then I've made a Baptist fan inside my outside arc of the Baptist fan, using the circles on quilts tool again. To do that, I put my locating pin here, and then my tool comes over and I can just locate and put those Baptist fans inside the Baptist fan. On this one, I've used the spinning wave number 2, and here we have the spinning wave number 2, which I have flipped so they are facing the other direction. This one here has the spinning wave and they are spaced very closely together. To put the clamshells into the Baptist fan, there is a set of 4 tools. They will locate on the locating disc. We just sew around. When we get to the end, we change to the next tool and come back. So we can put clamshells into our Baptist fans. For this Baptist fan, I've put 1/4 inch lines for the Baptist fan and put this arrow shape into here. For that, I use our spinning angle 1 tool and move it round. For the next one, I've turned the tool the other way upside down so I can sew them going the other direction, and I've put a wider spacing between them. This is just a 1½ inch Baptist fan. Spinning wave number 3 tool is what I use to make this Baptist fan, and I've put them at a wide spacing. For the next one, I've put them closer together. I can decide my spacings, how densely I want the quilt done. In this Baptist fan, I have used spinning wave number 10, and I have alternated how I've put my spacings in here. For this fan, I've used spinning wave number 7, and I've flipped it upside down. For this Baptist fan, I have used our spinning wave number 6, and I've used number 6 on this one as well. This one here just has 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch and 1 inch spacings. And for this beautiful Baptist fan, I've used our spinning diamonds. For that one, I have used our largest diamond, but we do have 4 different size spinning diamonds. In here, I've used spinning wave number 11 upside down. In this one is spinning wave number 10. In here, I've used our spinning oval P and located it here. In here, I have circles with our spinning circle tool, And we have 4 different positions we can sew these at. So at 4, I get a circle at 4 inches around, 6 inches, 8 inches, and at 10. And then I can just sew my circles, stop at the bottom and sew my next circle, and I create this line in the same process as sewing the circles. The spinning circles are available in spinning circles, ovals with a P, and ovals S. The P ovals have a point and the S ovals are smooth. And we have a number of different sizes in each of those tools. In this fan I have used the spinning oval 2 inch, and it's smooth, and I have placed it at the 4 inch mark and then again at the 8 inch mark and just worked my way around. For this one, spinning wave number 4. Here I have used spinning wave number 11, and I have sewn down one, flipped and sewn the other way. In here I've used our 3 inch spinning circle, and I've only used one section of the circle, then turned and sewn. For this one here, it is spinning wave number 8, and just spaced round. This one here uses spinning wave number 12, and I've sewn one wave, flipped the tool and sewn the next one. When sewing the spinning waves, you can mark your spinning waves by putting a crosshair line in here, putting your pin in on that centre point, and then using the lines marked around here, determining how many spacings you want. You also have lines coming out here, and they give you different measurements as well to put between your spinning waves. We also have a new tool which is a guide to make those points. So you can go to the outer mark of where you are wanting to sew, put it on the tool, have your crosshair straight line of the Baptist fan here, and drop a little line in at each of those marking points. So if I want to mark in that spacing, I can use those, and if I want to put a second line in, I will just move my guidelines on the ruler and put my middle lines in. I can now take my spinning wave, put it over, and I can locate the wave on those points. Or if I want, I can locate it 1/4 of an inch away from those points, depending on how I want to sew my spinning waves. So there's a number of ways that you can accurately mark for putting the spinning waves and spinning circles onto your quilts. The Westerly circle tool makes Baptist fans as well as doing circles. There are a number of components to this tool set. This one does 1/2 inch increments, so 1.5, 2 inch, 2.5 from each side. This one does your 1/8 of an inch increments. So this is 1.75, 2.25, and so on. So you can go from 1.75 to 2 to 2.25, and move your way up so that you have 1/8 of an inch spacings between your circles or your Baptist fans. The tool set comes with a locating disc, this disc here which drops into the centre of our tool, and then our tool can spin around that disc. And the disc is attached to the quilt with a pin which you put through where the centre of your Baptist fan or circle is, and then you place the disc on top. You also get this little tool and this disc which does your finer 1 inch and 1.25 pieces. So before I start, I like to put a piece of double-sided tape on my disc, and then I will just trim that off and locate that on the quilt. I've placed the locating pin where I want my circle to radiate from, and now I'll just place the disc over that pin and push it down. When using rulers, always place a ruler bed onto your machine. I'm going to work in 1/4 inch increments, so I've got the 1.5, 2 and so on. Place the tool over that disc, and now that disc will hold the tool so I can move it round. I'm going to put my foot into here, and I'm going to use the tool to move the machine. I'm running my machine, which is a Nolting, on a stitch regulator. So now I'm just going to, with the machine running with the stitch regulator, push the machine by the foot gently using the tool to push it. Now I need to travel to my next one, which is going to make 1/4 inch increments, so I'm going to 2, and I'm just going to come back the other way. Remember, when using rulers, you work at a gentle pace. Stop where it meets the fan from before, and I'm just going to travel down to the next one and use the tool to move it round. This tool will make circles, Baptist fans. You can use this to fill in drunkards' paths. I can do the Baptist fan with 1/4 inch increments, 1/8 of an inch increments. I can do it using 1/2 inch, 1 inch spacing. So I can make my Baptist fan with different size spacings just by moving my steps. So I'm going to finish with this row, and then I'm going to put in a 1/2 inch space. So to do that, I will go from the 4 to the 5. So I will just move the machine into position for 5, stop there. I will now just lift the tool, bring it back into place, so I can now push it from the 5. I've changed direction. And here I want to now put in that 1/8 of an inch step. So I need the 5.2, which is here, to be on this side. So we'll put the tool upside down, travel to the 5.2, and just, again, we're just moving the machine gently and travelling round. And that gives me my 1/8 of an inch step. And I want to do it so it's another 1/8 of an inch line, so we'll go back to the other tool. This time we're going to go to 5.5. It's very easy to remember which one you need to go to when you're changing. You just travel up the measurements. And I'll now put in another 1/2 inch step, which means I want to be doing the 6.5, so I'll just travel to where the 6.5 sits comfortably, which is here, and flip the tool again. These could be circles or half circles, forming Baptist fans. I want to put a filling into here, so I'm going to just run a 1/2 inch border around the edge of the Baptist fan. So I'm going to do 11, and then I'm going to do a 12. When you're doing the wider circles, you may want to change hands position, and that's fine. Just keeping the needle in the correct place, move your hand, and instead of pulling the machine, I'm now just pushing it, but I'm still pushing the machine with the foot. Because I'm going to the 12, I'm just going to flip the tool again. I'm going to travel down to the position for the 12 and then do the circle. Making circles with the Westerly circle ruler is very easy, as you can see, and you have so many options. You could just do Baptist fan with the standard 1-inch spacings, or you could do them spaced at 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, whatever you desire. So now the basis of our Baptist fan is done, and I'm going to fill in the centre. To create the waves in our Baptist fans, I use our spinning wave tools. We have a number of these tools, and they will give you for a 12-inch block, and they will fill out a 12-inch circle and anything smaller. They have a number of lines marked. These markings, we would draw a crosshair on our quilt. That is where our pin will go through the centre, and then we can travel around locating those markings. With this marking, I will use where the quilt meets the point of the tool, and I will just move the tool to that spacing, so that line, if this is the one I was working with and I have sewn here, I will then move that line so that it touches the top. It could be any place in that quilt where I'm sewing to, and each time I go round I move it to that position. I can also mark the spacings that I want, and for that I'm going to use this tool, which locates on the centre, and I like to have the bed of the machine underneath to give me something to draw against, and I can just mark those positions in on the line that I finished on. So if I'm working on the 11, I will put the marking here. If I was working on a 6-inch, I could put the marking down here. So there's my markings. So for this one I'm using our number 11 wave because I think it'll look nice in this space, and I'm just going to line up the edge of the tool so it's going to stop 1/4 of an inch, allowing for my hopping foot. And I just sew along the edge to that mark and come down. I'm going to travel all the way to the next mark, and because I can stop the needle on there, I know where that is going to be, and just put this one in here. Travel again, we're going to line up with that the hopping foot space to the line. You could line up right on that mark if you wish. It depends on what you want your quilting to look like. So we're going to stop back on that mark again. Travel around and up. You could have these spaced close together, further apart. The choice is yours. But because of the locating disc, it is just running around that locating disc, keeping me in the correct position to repeat whatever pattern I choose to put into my circles or Baptist fans. You can fill the whole Baptist fan with it. You can just fill a portion with it, as I'm just filling this section in here. You can have it cross over the lines of the Baptist fan as well. And we're finished.